Okay, so this is not my usual setup for recording these videos, but I forgot to charge my camera battery, and I'm really just tired of putting off talking about a game that came out like 8 months ago. So, we're gonna start getting caught up on this. God of War Ragnarok. Let's go ahead and talk about it. First, let us discuss the story of God of War. So the story for this one, it's a while later. All the shit's gone down from God of War 2018. Good game. Ragnarok has come at this point. So now it's basically the trying to stop Ragnarok from fully happening. You gotta take out Odin. So, and I'm just going to give very base, because, I know it's been out for 8 months, but I try not to give spoilers, even if the game has been out for a long time. I try not to give, too much of the full story, at least not until the end. I don't want to give spoilers, but, yeah. So, you need to go fight Odin, because you got to stop Ragnarok from coming, or it's basically GG, if you will, end of the world. So, yeah, we pick up kind of not directly from the last game. It's a few years after, but yeah, that is essentially the basic story of God of War Ragnarok, and obviously still going through more of the relationship between Kratos and Atreus, all that fun stuff. But yeah, let's move on now to the gameplay. So the gameplay goes like basically any God of War game. You have rage mode and everything. But in this one, because in 2018, all what you could really do was just kind of tell Atreus to shoot arrows. But now you actually do have some sections where you play as Atreus. And I know I'd seen some people saying they hated the Atreus sections. There's really only one Atreus section that I hated and found kind of boring, and that was the section with, I'm gonna butcher the name, so I'm sorry, but Angerborda? I feel so bad because I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I played the game. But the other girl who is a giant. So that was the only section I found boring because it was a lot of kind of fetch questing, so it got a little tedious. But honestly, the Atreus sections weren't bad. Gameplay, it feels smooth, the fighting feels great, you get those good combos in. Always fun. Of course, my favorite always is using his OG weapon. That's my favorite. You get a new one, the spear. You get that in this game. It is pretty cool, and I like how they use it for puzzles and everything. You have your normal. So for Atreus, for his like rage meter, he actually transforms into a wolf. So that is his whole, that's his whole thing. So you still do get the rage meter with him. But, and it's clear from the fact that they had the gameplay with him and everything that for God of War continuing forward, it's gonna focus on Atreus. Like, Kratos' story, I want to say, is fully done. And I think it ended in a good place. At least in my opinion. I liked where it ended. But yeah, you can tell they're setting it up to be Atreus is gonna continue the story now. Yeah, so the gameplay, the fighting can be kind of repetitive, but it's meant to be. God of War has always kind of been you're supposed to feel really strong beat 'em up, I would say, and you get, the big epic boss battles and everything. Sorry about moving the camera, my foot is cramping and it feels really uncomfortable. But yeah, because God of War, it's meant to be mowing down enemies, and then you have these big epic cinematic boss fights, which I think it delivered on. And like I said, the game runs smooth. I, of course, was playing. Yeah, it's only available on the PS5. I don't think there's PS4. It is God of War, that is that right? Or is that Horizon Forbidden West? I can't remember. But obviously I was playing on a PS5. Runs smooth. The game looks great. Like, the environments or everything always look good. I feel like the boss battles were maybe kind of lacking in like scale and epicness in this one. It just didn't feel like there was as much. They felt kind of more basic boss fights. There didn't feel like as much, like even in 2018, of like these big how it was showcased and everything. Especially the last fight. Like, it didn't feel like the last fight kind of filled up the shoes of even how 2018 that final battle was. Like, I felt it was a lot more epic and kind of in line with God of War. But yeah, that would be my biggest complaint, probably, at least gameplay wise. So now, let us move on to my thoughts and opinions. So I see a lot of people saying that, oh, God of War, it was kind of boring, it was stale and everything. And maybe I'm just a lot more of an easy to please gamer, because there's a lot of games I see people complain about and I'm like, oh, but I like that. So maybe I'm just a more easygoing person when it comes to games. So, take that with a grain of salt for what you will. But I really enjoyed God of War Ragnarok. I had a ton of fun with it. It was the classic. You got your gameplay, you have characters returning from 2018, how your relationship grows with them, and then the new characters, like, everything in it for me, I thought it came together well. And like I said earlier, I felt like it lended pretty, like, really good into moving to, this is now going to be Atreus' story. These games are going to be focused on Atreus now. I thought it handed over the reins really well, and, it developed their relationship, because you see, throughout the game, it's this whole dynamic of Atreus is trying to be more of an adult and make his own decisions, and Kratos essentially having to come to terms with the fact that it's like, because Kratos doesn't show emotion per se, so his showing he cares is like, I can't just keep telling you what to do and not let you go out on your own. Like, you're growing up, I have to let you go do your own thing, make your own mistakes, because let's be real, Kratos, he's made plenty of his mistakes, so he deep down doesn't want Atreus to make any of them, because losing your first wife and kid, and then, because you kind of murdered them, but that'll do a lot to you. So and especially because, his late wife, obviously he very deeply cares for his son and wants to do everything in his power to keep him alive and well and safe. But Kratos, he's having to come to terms with the fact that, like, Atreus is gonna be his own person. He's gonna go out on his own. You can't just shelter him. You can't keep shutting him out of all the information. And I think the game, it did that really well. It's like, by the end of it, you can tell Kratos is like, hey, Atreus, I trust you. You're gonna, you need to live your own life. Go do your thing, like, you'll be fine. I trust you can be fine. So, I honestly think it did really good in the story. Yes, the gameplay, and especially the enemies, can be very repetitive. Like, I will agree in that the enemies, it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of unique enemies or different, especially a lot of them feel like they're kind of recycled from God of War 2018. But given what the game is, it also makes sense that they're kind of recycled like that, because you're visiting the same areas. So, and for visiting the same areas and even having the new ones, like, I think it did a good balance. And revisiting the old areas, like, they didn't make you sit there too long, because they know you already been there, you've already done that, so they never made you sit there too long in it. Just go back, enough to see the changes that are happening because of Ragnarok and all that. So I personally thought it had a very good balance with that. But yeah, honestly, I give God of War Ragnarok an 8.5 out of 10, I would say. I really enjoyed it. I didn't 100% it just because, like, fighting the Valkyries, I'm not good enough to fight the Valkyries. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I suck at that. So I haven't 100%ed it, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'd probably go back and eventually play it, years down the road once I beat the 500 other games I have. I mean, I just picked up another game today that I had pre-ordered, Master Detective Archives. So, I've got 500 games to beat before I can even think about going back and doing New Game Plus or anything for old games. But yeah, go ahead, leave down in the comments below. I want to know, what are your thoughts and opinions on God of War Ragnarok? And also, I just want to mention, I'm sorry that streaming has been kind of on and off. It's been busy, and for a while now too, we've been trying to figure out, because we've been having some issues with, like, when I'm streaming, there's a lot of frame rate dropping, and Senor Sylveon, he's been having a lot of issues of, like, getting DC'd or just massive lag when he's trying to game online. He thinks he has it figured out because he tweaks some settings on his PC, so, you know, we're gonna try again. So that's why there was no Dead Space video last Friday, because I just ended up not streaming it because I didn't want to stream and, like, be messing up his, you know, trying to game with his buddies, but we'll hopefully have gotten that figured out. So anyway, go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it. I already told you, leave a comment down below, subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, I do the review discussion videos on Monday, and then we upload gameplays on Friday. Right now I'm archiving the Dead Space streams, but I'd want to stop just archiving streams. I don't know, maybe I'll keep doing that, and then maybe on Wednesdays I'll do gameplay. I don't know, I'll figure it out. All my socials and stuff are linked down below: Instagram, Twitter. I have a Discord. There's my second channel where I do vlogs, and I've also started doing reviews, because it's something I wanted to do, but I didn't want to put it on the main channel because this is more like gaming nerd focused, not trashy reality TV show. But yeah, because I've been talking about 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Got a couple videos on that channel. That's all linked down below. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!